What if I told you that your cheat days is the reason that you are struggling to lose weight? So you're eating clean all week, you are tracking your calories, you're literally eating your protein, you're eating high volume, low calorie dense foods, you're getting all your steps in, you're smashing the gym, then it comes to the weekend and you're like, I can have a cheat day today. I know I can because I've seen it online, loads of people do it, and it's the thing to do when you're losing weight. And then it comes to Monday, you weigh yourself and you're like, oh, I haven't lost weight and I've been eating so well all week. Yes, I've had one cheat day, but compared to all the rest of the week, I smashed it. And I couldn't have, like, there's no way that I couldn't have not lost weight just from one cheat day. I'm going to be addressing this in today's video, so if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, join the family here on YouTube. And if this is the first time you're seeing my face, my name is Louise. I used to be morbidly obese. I lost 120 pounds and I've been able to maintain that, so I'm speaking from experience. Today's video is sponsored by none other than Skinny Food Co. I am a proud Skinny Food Co ambassador, and I found their products whilst I was actually on my own weight loss journey, and I was able to make loads of different food swaps with Skinny Food Co, so I had loads of low calorie alternatives to the food I love. For example, if you love a pot noodle, they have these meal pots. These are banging. So this is actually a high protein meal pot, tomato and basil pasta. It's 16 grams of protein per meal and it's only 218 calories per pot. So if you like something quick and easy, like say you're partial to a pot noodle, this is a good swap to make with that, okay? Just make that swap, you're saving half the calories pretty much, and you're getting protein in there, and it's just a better alternative. So I definitely recommend this. They have like different flavors as well, different kind of meal pots. So they've got like a carbonara one, I'm pretty sure. They've got a few different ones. So make sure if you do like that, you want something quick and easy, I do recommend having this just in your house, in the kitchen, just for when you can't, like you fancy something, you're quite hungry, and you know, like when you get the moments where like you want to have something quick to eat and you're looking through the cupboard and, and you end up just going for something unhealthy. If you have this, you're a lot more likely, you just chuck the kettle on, put boiling water in there and wait for a bit, and then we'll wait for 5 minutes, and then you get to enjoy it, and yeah, you're not going over your calories, right? So definitely recommend that. Another low calorie swap I made with Skinny Food Co is the syrups and sauces, right? Pop, pop, pop. We've got the maple syrup here. This I use on like breakfast, on yogurt, on fruit, on ice cream. This is maple syrup, but they've got loads of different flavour syrups. They are 0 calories, 0 sugar. They are vegan. They are fat-free. They are keto-friendly, I'm pretty sure. They are non-GMO, vegan, yep, and gluten-free as well. So they're really good. You can add it on that kind of stuff, the sweet stuff. Then a savoury sauce. So I swapped using like regular sauces because it's so easy to go over your calories by adding sauces. A lot of people don't realise that hidden calories come from sauces. So swapping my sauces with a Skinny Food Co sauce. This is peri-peri flavour. You know about peri-peri, is banging. These are used for obviously like dipping, dressing, cooking, marinating and basting. So only 2 calories per 10 milliliter serving, so virtually 0 calories. It is also gluten-free, fat-free, dairy-free, vegan-friendly, low sugar, and has no added sugar. They have loads of different sauces at Skinny Food Co as well, so you can like pick what you like and just replace it with that. It's a really good way to save on calories. And then also a couple of snacks that I do like is the Skinny Wafer. This is the lemon one. This is 123 calories, banging, and it's vegan. And then they also have the high protein chocolate wafer. This is actually like this, but it's got a chocolate covered coating around it. It's actually so banging. I love it, right? So you've got loads of different snack options. There's a lot more that they have on there as well, but I personally love them. This obviously, as it has the protein in it and it has the chocolate covered coating, is a little bit more calories, but obviously you get the protein in there as well. So it's 170 calories rather than 123, but you get the protein in there and obviously the extra chocolate on the outside, so it's a bit banging. And in your lemon one, they've also got a chocoholic flavour of this as well, so it's banging. They've got protein bars, they've got like chocoholic drops, which are basically like Smarties, but so much less calories. So many other alternatives. And then they also have like coffee syrups, which is what I personally love. I like to have a coffee, but they do the big bottles, which I've showed you guys on my last video. I'll show you guys all the time, but they also have travel size barista syrups. This is actually cinnamon flavour, so we're getting a bit festive here. And I always take one of these small bottles out with me, so I have one in my car and I have one in my bag. I also keep them at home for when I'm running low on my syrups at home. And I will use this when I get a coffee when I'm out. So I'll go to Costa, order a skinny Americano, squirt a bit of that in there, and I feel like I've got like a cinnamon latte, like quite festive, you know, or if I use salted caramel latte. And I am just not wasting loads of calories on syrup. So these are swaps that you can make in order to lose weight but also not feel restricted. So if you guys would like to order from Skinny Food Co, you can save up to 50% using my code weightLouise. I will leave that all listed in the description down below, along with the link to the website, so you can go check them out, go have a look, little nosy through, and see what kind of swaps that you can make. They have so many different alternatives on there. You've got savoury, sweet, fake weight alternatives. You've literally got like snacks, chocolates, so like literally anything you can think of, they've got over there, pasta, bread. So I definitely highly recommend going to check them out. Thank you so much to Skinny Food Co for sponsoring today's video. So the reason why your cheat day is restricting you, stopping you from actually making progress and losing weight, you might be able to maintain by having one cheat day if you're eating in a deficit. You may have some weeks where you might lose a little bit of weight, but you are really, if you're lucky, you're really slowing down your progress if you're having cheat days, because essentially what you're doing is you are eating in a calorie deficit all week, and then say you have like a massive day of like, you call it a cheat day, and you're restricting all of the foods that you kind of like, for example chocolate, say pizza, donuts, crisps, a fizzy drink, cake, all of those kind of foods, yeah, highly calorie dense food, your food that is considered bad foods whilst you're losing weight, yeah, if you've got this mentality, it's considered bad food, and you're restricting that throughout the week. Then it comes to, say, a Friday or a Saturday or even a Sunday, the weekend. The majority of people, it's the weekend that they have their cheat days on, right? Then because you've restricted it all week, you said you're not allowed it, and then you're like, okay, I'm allowed it now, it's a cheat day. What tends to happen for majority of people on that cheat day, they don't just have one donut, one cake, one chocolate, no, or one pizza. What they do is they will like literally spend the whole day pretty much indulging in all the foods that they've restricted all week. These are high calorie dense foods. It's quite easy to eat a lot of calories whilst you're eating this. They are high fat, high carb most of the time, mostly a combination of the two. They're low in fiber majority of the time, and they are low in protein. So what this means is you're able to eat a lot of it and stack up the calories a lot without actually getting massively full, yeah? And a lot of people on these cheat days will eat so much to the point where they feel really stuffed and can't really eat anymore, okay? When you get to that point whilst eating this amount of food, you have probably stacked up 3,000, 4,000, even 5,000 calories in that day. If you're only in, say for example, you eat a 250 calorie deficit over 6 days, because one of those days you're over consuming your calories, you're in a 1,500 calorie deficit, okay, which is about half a pound loss. So let's put this into perspective, yeah? Say you get a large McDonald's Big Mac meal, right? That's going up to about 1,000 calories, if not slightly more, depending on what you get, yeah? You've only got an extra 500 calories until you're out of your calorie deficit. Say you've had a chocolate bar and a packet of crisps. There you've had your 1,500 calories. You've now successfully taken yourself out of a calorie deficit. The majority of the time it isn't just a McDonald's meal on top of your food and a donut or a chocolate bar. A majority of the time it is, for a cheat day, not eating normal for the rest of the day and actually eating a lot, right? You could eat 3,000-4,000 calories, so it will actually make you gain weight even though you've been good all week. So a better alternative to doing this and actually being able to still enjoy a biscuit, a cake, or a donut, or pizza, or a takeaway here and there, is to incorporate the 80-20 rule. So this is something that I used during my weight loss and also during like my maintenance. Is 80% of my diet comes from whole foods, high protein diet, low calorie, high volume dense food. 20% of that food is going to come from my fun foods, foods that I want to eat, right? Say if I really want a chocolate bar, what I don't do is say that I'm never allowed a chocolate bar. I can incorporate that into my calories completely fine. Yeah, as long as 80% of my diet is coming from whole foods and actually nutritious foods that is actually fueling my body properly, is high fiber, high protein, going to keep me full. Carbs are good for the energy and like fuel source pretty much, like, and fats are obviously good for hormone regulation and everything. Like, we need all of the macros, right? So as long as I've got good balance of that and it's actually giving my body nutrition, 20% of the calories that I eat for the day, if I really want, I can incorporate that into my diet. And therefore what happens with that is I can still enjoy, I'm able to eat it in moderation, and I'm not feeling the urge to overeat massively on it, and I'm not feeling the urge to binge on it pretty much, yeah? and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Another good alternative is, yes, you can do the 80-20 rule, but what I also like to do is, especially whilst I'm in a weight loss phase and I'm trying to eat in a calorie deficit, what I try to do is try to just find slightly lower calorie alternatives to the food that I'm craving, that I want, so I'm not feeling restricted and I don't really need a cheat day. So you kind of adapt your diet to the way you like. So you're not feeling like, okay, I can't really eat a chocolate bar today because I haven't got enough calories. Go for a lower calorie chocolate bar, so it's a lot easier to be full whilst you're losing weight. So what I do is like the Skinny Food Co chocolate bars, they're less calories, they contain protein, it helps me hit my protein goal, and I'm not massively feeling to like binge on it, do you know what I mean? Because it's fit within my calories. And say for example I'm craving a pizza, rather than ordering a takeaway pizza because of how many calories it is, it's very, very hard to fit a takeaway pizza in with a breakfast, lunch, and then having a takeaway pizza for dinner whilst being in a calorie deficit. So what I do whilst I'm losing weight is, if I crave for a pizza, I will make a wrap pizza at home, or I'll use a Skinny Food Co pizza base, and it's a high protein pizza base, and I'll use like I'll make it at home. Like I'll use the tomato passata, I'll use Eat Lean cheese, I'll put chicken on there, fill it with lots of veg. If I'm gonna have chips, I'll cut up my own potatoes and literally like air fry them or put them in the oven and have my own chips. It's just easier because it's a lot less calories. You can see and track it properly, and also make it in ways without oils, without deep frying, and actually fill up your plate with lots of veg. So I always add like a side salad if I'm having like pizza and stuff. So like, I'm making sure that I'm full, and I'm also getting the craving that I want. And if I do want to have a pizza on one day, it's not that bad. And I'm not saying that having a cheat day, for example, like one day of going over your calories is going to make or break your overall progress. I don't think that. I've had days where I've had takeaways and I have gone over my calories, but what's made the difference is I don't make it a habit. I'm not having a weekly day where I'm like, okay, and I never ever call it a cheat day. I'm never like, oh, I'm gonna just eat whatever I want the whole day and like just ram in as much food as possible because I'm gonna restrict again tomorrow. And it also does create almost like a binge restrict cycle, and it can lead to an ED, which we do not want. So yeah, I would say that's why I don't really like the idea of cheat days. But say you do go over your calories on one day, it's okay. Like, don't panic, just don't make it a habit. Don't make it a weekly thing. The least amount of times that you go over your calories, it's gonna make less difference. Like, do you know what I mean? So make sure, like, if you are gonna have a day where you overeat or you do overeat, you just don't make it a habit. You just pick yourself back up, continue, and like, it won't make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. But if your goal is to lose weight, you are hindering your progress by having a weekly cheat day. There is things like refeeds and stuff, which I have done videos and spoken about it before. This doesn't necessarily apply to that, but just a quick thing about refeeds is, if you've been in a calorie deficit for a very long period of time and your weight loss is slowing down, because your NEAT is decreasing, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis is decreasing, because of the fact that you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time, it can slow down your weight loss, and you could be tired and like not have any energy, start like losing strength in the gym and stuff. So what is beneficial in that point is a refeed, but even then, a controlled refeed where you're not like overeating on junk food, for example. You actually just increase your calories for a while, like whether that's a day, 2 days, or a week, or even a couple of weeks. It depends on the person. Each individual is different, and like, I do think that it is a lot easier to be coached by someone. But as far as cheat days go, I don't agree with a weekly cheat day because it does hold back your progress massively. So instead of having that cheat day, incorporate it throughout, balanced over the week, and you will see so much more progress, so much more results, and you'll actually be able to lose the weight, and by the end of it you'll be able to maintain your weight loss as well. It's just so much more healthy and balanced, and you're not gonna like, if you like just use one day of overeating, it's so much easier for it to drag on the next day and then the next day. Whereas if you just learn how to eat in moderation and have that kind of control, you won't slip into bad habits like that, and it's just going to be so much better for you in the long term as well. So that's what my opinion is on cheat days, as someone that has lost weight, lost over 100 pounds, and been able to keep it off. So I hope you found this video helpful, informative, and useful. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, and please be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know whether you do cheat days or whether you don't do cheat days, and what your opinion on them is. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much to Skinny Food Co for sponsoring today's video. Bye!